What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a really long time. Today we're going to be talking about low dose Accutane regimens. So we pretty much all know what Accutane is, right? A lot of people end up taking Accutane as a last resort. They take a lot of it. It's able to, for most people, wipe out their acne. But it's usually 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 months, but they get high up in the dose and then they ramp off and they stop. This is a whole new idea where people will take a very small amount of Accutane. Sometimes it's called a maintenance dose for years. Sometimes people are talking about doing it for life. This is a really new idea, and there's not a ton of research on it yet, but there has been some studies and some new stuff that's come up, and that's why I want to make this video about it today, to break it all down. So if you don't know me already, my name's Brian, by the way. I used to have really bad acne. I've had acne since I was 15. I tried a lot of different things, nothing worked. I got on Accutane. I ended up going even beyond the standard dose, and I took one of the heaviest doses that's ever been recorded in the world. Got rid of my acne, and then it came back later due to a bunch of different things. That's another story. My point is, I've done the standard version of Accutane where you take a ton of it at once. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this maintenance dose or this low dose. So it really got me interested to learn more and try to figure out as much as possible and bring it to you. So that's what I'm doing with you today, because I have just spent many hours doing research and trying to figure out what's the what with low dose Accutane. So regularly, when you get put on Accutane, you are going to be taking a standard dose, which I believe is 1 milligram per kilogram, but usually no one is taking less than 20 to 40 milligrams. That's kind of the start point for most people, and then it ramps up depending on if you're a heavier person or if your acne is very severe and you aren't seeing results. For example, like I got up to 260, maybe 280 milligrams a day. But usually, people who are taking a heavier dose will be somewhere around 80 or 100, maybe even 120 milligrams a day. And so that's a pretty heavy dose. When we're talking about this low dose Accutane, we're talking about, usually most people are talking about a 10 milligram pill once a day, sometimes even less than that. Sometimes I was reading online, people are talking about taking a 10 milligram pill twice a week. That's it. Not taking something every day. So there's a lot of variance when it comes to this low dose regimen. Now, if you don't know how Accutane works, I'm not gonna get into the mechanisms of everything, but basically what happens is over time, it accumulates in your body because it is fat soluble, which means that it basically stores up in your fat cells. And eventually you get to a tipping point where you have enough inside of your blood and enough inside of your body to actually have it start to shut down your oil glands. That's the idea of it, right? So that's why people don't see immediate results that first week or that first month. They usually take a couple of months to see their skin improve as the Accutane or the vitamin A starts to build up inside of their body. So the difference with taking a low dose is that it's going to take a lot longer for you to accumulate enough in your body to see the results. But a lot of people are claiming that you don't have the same side effects, you don't have as much risk, and it's just generally a lot easier to do. So let's dig into it. I actually found a website where a girl went and interviewed a lot of different doctors, a lot of different dermatologists, to hear what they think about low dosage Accutane trials. So let's look at what they said. Low dose Accutane definitely works, and the side effects might be more manageable and less intense while you're on it, but then you'd be stuck taking Accutane every day for possibly a year in order to reach that cumulative dosage of at least 150 milligrams, says Dr. Levin. And generally, people don't want to deal with daily pills, monthly blood tests, and pregnancy tests, and also prolonged side effects for that long. So yeah, an interesting perspective. Dr. Levin is basically saying what I just said. It'll take longer to accumulate enough for it to be effective. And also, a lot of people aren't great at having daily routines, so they might forget to take it every day for a couple days here and there, and that's just going to make it take even longer. And he's saying if you are having side effects, even with that small dose, they're going to last a lot longer. So that's pretty legit. Let's see what the next doctor says. You might be successful and have completely clear skin by the end of it, but there's a 60 to 70% chance it'll come back again in the near future, says Dr. Gohara. And would you rather spend multiple years of your life going on low dose Accutane again and again, or get it all over within 6 annoying yet manageable months? Okay, so this doctor is bringing a really interesting, different perspective. He's basically saying that doesn't think that a low dose of Accutane over a long period of time, even if it accumulates to be the same amount, is going to keep your acne away. Basically sounds like he thinks there's a higher chance of it relapse, 60 to 70% chance that it's going to relapse after you stop taking that low dosage, versus if you just took all of it in a 3 or 6 month period where you're doing a lot of Accutane all at once. I don't know if there's any science behind what he's saying, but it's an interesting perspective. So now that we've looked at two different doctors and they are talking science, let's see if there is any science, if there are any studies that they've done on low dose Accutane. I was able to find a meta-analysis study where they looked at different studies of low dose Accutane trials and saw how it affected people with mild to moderate acne, and also how it compared with people who have heavier acne. So this is what they said in their study. Our analysis of the data revealed that the effectiveness and relapse rates of low dose Accutane in mild to moderate grades of acne is comparable with the standard regimen, which is given with more severe grade of acne. Thus, the grade or severity of acne should dictate the doses of administration of Accutane, and the standard dose of 1 milligram per kilogram per day is an unnecessary over-treatment for mild to moderate grades of acne. Okay, I can see a couple of you guys' eyes are glazing over. I know when it gets to science studies and science talk, it gets a little boring, but basically what they said there is that if you have mild to moderate acne, they think, according to their study results, that you would be better off doing a low dose of Accutane over a longer period of time than doing it all at once with a higher dose. Unless you have a more severe, way worse type of acne, then you should take regular, doses of Accutane where you're taking a lot more in a lot shorter period of time. That's a really interesting perspective, and that's actually coming from a scientific analysis of studies. That's pretty crazy, and I'm surprised no one's talking about this. Okay, now we've looked at what doctors have said. We've looked at what the science says. Now, what I love to do after this is to see what actual people are saying. So I searched on the internet, saw a couple different people giving their experiences. This is one that I want to share specifically because this guy has been taking Accutane in small doses for over 3 years. So let me read his post. I've been on 10 milligrams for over 3 years, and during these years, I stopped taking Accutane for only up to 2 months at one time and 1 month at another. I'm a male guy, 26 years old. My face used to be very oily and gross and feel like it was burning with every breakout. Now it still is somewhat oily, so there's no flaking at all, but it's smooth to the touch and I absolutely love it. Now the only problem is that I don't find Accutane's effects have lasted. If I stop using Accutane, my skin will get more oily after a week or two and I'll get a new pimple at the same time. If I'm off of it for more than a month, my face will go right back to how it was. It takes a month of 10 milligrams to get it back on track. Okay, that was really cool because now we're actually getting someone's review of doing it. It's not just this analysis through studies and stuff. It's a person who's actually living proof of what's going on with this. So he's been doing 10 milligrams every day for 3 years. That seems insane to me. And basically he's saying that it works until he stops. And if he stops for a week, he sees effects. If he stops for a month, his acne is right back to where it was. But after he does it for another month and he's right back to where he was with his low dose every single day, his face is cleared up and he's seeing the results that he's been wanting. So this is really interesting because it kind of backs up what the earlier doctor said, where when you're taking that low dose, you have a much higher chance of relapsing versus taking a high dose and getting rid of it and being able to stop Accutane. So if you're doing a low dose, you're kind of, in a way, going to be committed to having to take it constantly. You won't be able to eventually just stop. And I think that probably has to do with the accumulation thing we were talking about earlier. Because you're taking such a small dose, your body is digesting the Accutane that's in your fat cells that is, accumulated. It's digesting some every day. And then you're also taking a small amount every day. So you're never like getting a ton in there. It's kind of just going out and coming in, going out and coming in. And then if you stop bringing it in, then your body starts to digest all of the reserves you have and quickly the effects will wear off. So that's an interesting perspective. And I think that's something that we should really pay attention to there. All right. I am absolutely not a doctor or a dermatologist, so I can't tell you what you should do. But what I was hoping that this video would do is inform you of another option and just kind of show you that there is another dosage regimen that's available, and you can talk to your dermatologist about this. You can talk to your dermatologist about anything. You don't have to do what that dermatologist tells you to do. You can say, hey, look, I heard about something else that I've been reading about on the internet. I've read some studies. Let's talk about this, and they should take you seriously. So yeah, I hope that this was an informing video, and I hope you were able to get something new out of this that, you know, I really haven't seen a lot of people talking about this on YouTube, so I kind of wanted to fill that hole. So I appreciate you guys coming on this little ride with me. If you guys are looking for my favorite skincare brand of all time, definitely check out Banish. It's all small batch made, it's all cruelty-free, it's all completely natural, and it's made every single week. So all the active ingredients are still active when they get to you, unlike tons of the other brands where their product sits on the shelf for 6 months or longer before they ship it to you. It's really important that you get the active ingredients while they're still active. You can check them out. It's really great for acne, acne scarring, and also just overall skin health. I've been using them literally for a year and a half. It's Banish. My code is Brian5. It gets you $5 off your order, 50 or more. I'll put a link in the description below. Appreciate you guys coming in here. Give the video a like if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe so you can see other videos that I put out, because I always try to create new and interesting and creative content around the world of acne and skincare. And let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Would you try a low dose of Accutane, or would you just stick to the regular, normal, standard dose? Remember, you are not alone, you are beautiful, and you're part of Team Acne. I'll see you skin bosses in the very next video.